Hello, and this is the Warforge with a 2,500 point battle report. It is the Orks versus the Dark Empire, that is Tau Empire with Dark-Eldar allies. The mission is a custom mission. It is the first mission in a campaign. I'm starting up with the players who play 40k at our club still. The campaign will be running on for 6 weeks. So I'm just starting off with the first mission and just playing out, seeing how it goes from there, see what bits need to be fixed up in that mission and all sorts. The mission is called the Higher Ground, which I will be explaining about in a moment. But first is the army list, and then what I'm thinking of my tactics for the army list. So in 2,500 points we have my Warlord, Gazgul Thraka. We also have another HQ, which is a big mech with shock attack gun, cyborg body, heavy armour. And I've done this deliberately to get more troops. In the troops I have 3 Mega Knobs in a battle wagon for dedicated transport. The dedicated transport has a death roller, it has reinforced ram, has 2 big shooters, and has grot riggers. I have 2 squads of 30 orc boys, each have a knob with a power claw. I have 1 squad of 20 orc boys with a knob with a power claw and 19 shooters. In my heavy spot I have the Forge of Mega Dread with grot riggers, if I remember correctly. Yep. So I also have 2 battle wagons. And my battle wagons have killer cannons, reinforced rams, 2 big shooters, and grot riggers. I think it also should be noted that I may have missaid. In my battle wagon dedicated transport, I have a death roller instead of a reinforced ram. Whoopsies. In my fast attack, I have 2 Dakka jets with fight race and an additional super shooter. And I have 1 squad of 5 death copters with 5 rocket launchers and 5 buzzsaws. Also my troops choice, if I haven't said already, is a death dread with 2 additional dreadnought close combat weapons, grot riggers and armor plates. Yep, and that's my 2,500 points. My tactics is to basically be swarm and offensive, because orcs run that way and you're running assaulty hordes. My plan is to try and mob up where the main point is for the mission, because if I mob over that, he can't enter an area. And so I will be now describing how the mission, the Higher Ground, plays out. Okay, so this is the mission, the Higher Ground. It's played on a usual 6x4 board, so 6 foot by 4, the usual standard table. The table is divided into a cross section, just like in table quarters for those who played 5th edition. Then there is a 10-inch circle placed into the centre of the table with a 40mm base or 40mm circle placed into the centre of that, like so. Basically, any scoring unit you have within a table, wholly within a table quarter, without any enemy units wholly within that same table quarter, gain half a victory point. If you have a scoring unit wholly within the circle, without any enemy units within that wholly within that circle, you gain 2 victory points. Note that the circles do not count as part of the table quarters. If you have a scoring unit wholly within the 10-inch circle and at least 1 member touching the 40mm base, you lose the 2 victory points, but you gain 3 victory points instead. As long as there isn't another enemy enemy unit touching that 40mm base circle as well. So that is the mission. The deployment for this mission is Dawn of War, and there's only one secondary objective, which is Line Breaker. No First Blood and no Slay the Warlord. Just Line Breaker. And with that, we shall move on to deployment and each other's armies. Okay, so here are the armies. We have which one's the primary detachment?
Tau.
Tau with Dark-Eldar allies. My opponent will go through his army, then I shall go through mine.
Okay, first the main warlord is going to be this guy, Caddy Fireblade. He's going to be in this squad of 12 fire warriors, all bonded knifed, all EMP grenades with pulse rifles. This squad's the same as this squad, except that it doesn't have fire caliber. I've got a 3-man Pathfinder team with iron rifles, all bonded knifed, all EMP grenades. First heavy support is a hammerhead. It has an iron cannon, burst cannons, drones, sensor spines, automated repair systems, and there was something else. Disruption pods. This one's the same except has missile drones and it's a real gun. The flyer for the Tau is a Sunshark bomber with twin-link missile pod, 2 interceptor drones with their iron rifles. I've got to use the proxy. I'm just about to fix them. They've got 2 broadsides with 2 missile drones. They don't have any upgrades other than the ordinary ones. Heavy rail rifles, smart missile systems. Yep. Then I've got first squad of crisis battle suits with missile pods. The commander suit is going to be in this squad with them. The commander has commander control node, multi-spectrum suit, iridium armor. These guys have shield generators and missile pods. These guys are the same. They have shield generators and missile pods. Their drones are gun drones. Now for the allies, their leader is the Archon with his unit of 5 incubi. He has a husk blade and he has a weapon. Let me just check what weapon it was.
I'll just hold that for you.
Okay. Husk blade and shadow field.
Shadow field.
Yep. These guys, they are 5 of them. One of them is a Clavex with demi-claves. That's it for that squad. Then we have a 20-man squad of Cabalite warriors with one of the models has splinter pistol and a close combat weapon, which is this one here with the sword out and all above the head. They have a shredder and a splinter cannon with haywire grenades and plasma grenades. This one is a 15-man squad of witches with razor fields and haywire grenades. There is a Heatrex with a blast pistol as well. And then I've got 5 Scourgers. This painted one is the leader. They have a blaster. No, it wasn't a blaster. Yeah, I think it was a blaster. And one Scourge is a Solarite with a Venom Blade. And I have the Razorwing Jet Fighter, new model. Hope it's gonna do me good. And it has the disintegrator cannons with night shields and necrotoxin missiles with Shatterfield missiles. That's 2 of each. And that is my army. Going along to my opponent's army now.
Oh, hello, sorry. And here's the Orks, 2,500 points of war. Starscream and Thundercracker when he gets painted. 2 Dakka jets, you know the drill. all three battle wagons, as we see here. Gazzy and his boys and his chosen one in Optimus Prime. 5 Death Copters, as I've said. The Death Dread and the Mega Dread, now known as Forge World Glory. I am going to be assembling the arm soon. I just only had enough time to make the body, and he's still not attached to his base, so I'm going to have to pin that. Here are all the boys, the Mega Knobs are there, all the boys, all the shoot boys, boys that make a mob of the war. And did I forget to mention my shock attack gun? So here we are, there are the armies, and now we're moving on to deployment. Okay, so deployment is here. Here is the board. And here is I got the Princeps of Deceit Warlord trait, which allowed me to redeploy 3 units D6 inches in the 40k rulebook. So I redeployed this one to get a bit more ground on for the troops. 4 inches. The Death Dread, which I was hoping could go into the middle floor, but I needed a 6, which was unsuccessful. I also redeployed the Mega Dread, 3 inches. Apart from that, that was my warlord traits, and there is my army. Now go to the
the warlord trait that I got, I can't remember what it's called, but it allows me to do night fighting special rule without rolling. So this is everything. You've got my broadsides, fire blades, squad there. My Kabbalite Warriors and Piranha, Hammerhead, Iron Cannon, Battlesuit Team without Warlord, Incubee right there, right on the line, Scourges, Precious Battlesuit Team with Warlord, the Fire Warrior Squad, Hammerhead with Ion, they're just in there, Pathfinders and my Witches right there. Now we're going to roll a Season Initiative.
Yep. Before I do, could you video that? There is the circle, as I said in the mission section beforehand, and here's the higher ground flag post objective thing. That costs 3 victory points, and the circle costs 2. So roll for season initiative, and I failed.
Tau turn 1. So the Witches moved up here and ran 1 inch. They couldn't fire at anything, so of course. Pathfinders, they multiplied these and got rid of them. Got rid of the cover save against them. Killed 2. This tried to fire the iron cannon at that, did nothing. These fired at them, managed to do 2 wounds with the cover save, saved them. These took off because these moved there. Fired at the big thing, the mech thing, the Mega Dread, whatever it's called. And Negate left it down to 1 hull point, then moved back in assault phase. Scourges moved up, ran 1 inch. Incubee moved up, ran 6 inches all the way to there. And these assault 6 inches there. These moved from over along here, couldn't fire anything, so they were left standing. These moved up here, couldn't fire anything, left standing. This fired over here, but did nothing. These fired at them and killed a couple, I think it was 4. These fired at them and did nothing. So that's the end of Tau turn 1. Going on to Ork.
Okay, so Ork turn 1. These guys moved through difficult terrain and ran through difficult terrain. This cannon tried to fire at them but was out of range. This battle wagon moved 12 inches from here to here and did nothing, waiting for them. Death Dread moved 6 inches, then ran 3 inches to here. The shock attack gun tried to fire into them and managed to scatter 6 inches all the way over here. Managed to wound 2 of them at strength 7 because of the random strength it has, but he had a 4+ cover with shrouded because of the night fighting special rules. And he managed to pass them all, if I remember correctly. Yes, because there was only 3. These shooter boys did nothing. These boys, well, we're from here. moved through difficult terrain to here, ran to this point. The battle wagon had moved, took dangerous terrain test, passed it, moved 6 inches, fired into this squad with a pie plate, as we see. Boom. Killed a lot. Then this Mega Dread fired again at this unit, and everything went boom. So, aside from that,
Ready? Reserves.
Yep, aside from that, here are the reserves for the bomber.
The Sin-Shock bomber
Comes on.
Void Raven.
Both bombers come on. It's gonna go boom, boom, boom. So on the Dark Empire's turn.
Tau turn 2. This came on the board and blew up that after a lot of things were shot at it. These shot at it didn't do much. These shot at this, which means it can't move and only snap fire next turn. These guys took down a lot of the greenskins over here. These took down hull point from that. This did nothing. They tried to fire at this and only did 1 wound. Hit them. This destroyed his mecha boy or something.
Big Mech.
Big mech on there. These tried to fire the Dark Lance at that and did nothing. These ended this guy's life. These
Went down violently.
moved up. This did nothing. They did nothing, and they did nothing. So Orks turn 2 reserves.
Reserves. Dakka Jets first. 3+. Both come on. And the Death Copters. Come on. Wait, hang on. I'll just check to see if that's cocked.
No.
I just want to be cocked, so they do come on. Which side? Because they're outflanking. 1, 2. Oh, which one's my left? That one.
Yes.
Oh, left's that way, isn't it? That's my right.
Yep.
That's my right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, my choice. 5, 6, my choice. So I'm going to be everyone through that table. Hang on, wait, no, hang on. It's too hard. Why is that? I'll choose later. Okay, so Ork overview of turn 2. The Orks, well, moved out here and ran towards here, blocking line of sight from them. This guy managed to fire at this guy and reduced him to 1 hull point. This guy could not fire because of reasons last turn. These guys fired into that squad and killed a guy. They killed a man. Or an elf. Nothing happened to these, unfortunately. What I should have done is fired those into them, but oh well. Can't have everything. This couldn't fire because of interceptor last turn. This guy fired into that and reduced it to 1 hull point, and it got a 3 on the result chart, meaning that it can only move 18 inches and cannot turn. It also made Jinx 2, it made all successful but 1, so it can't, so it's snap firing on his turn. That was a wreck. This guy managed to fire its killer cannon into there and reduced the guys to 2 guys, which he passed his leadership test for. These guys moved from here all the way up to here. And those guys just sat and did nothing, as I said. However, in combat, the the Death Dread charged in, assaulted the Archon, killed nobody since the Archon was closest, and he had Shadow Field, so 2 wounds and he passed them both, unfortunately. I made a consolidation of 2 inches in there, and he backed off 7, was it? Or 8? 7 inches. 7 inches backed off. So right now, if his unit doesn't rally next turn, I have 2 victory points, since the Death Dread is a scoring unit, because I bought a big mech who made, in the Force Organisation chart, the Death Dread a troop's choice. So,
This thing destroyed most of the witches.
What?
Most of the witches were killed by
Yeah.
heavy truck.
What was killed by the?
Most of the witches were killed by the heavy truck.
That, look. Yeah, no. I killed them all. Yeah, I said, sorry. Apologies for that. Apart from that, good round of shooting. And does my opponent have any more reserves?
No.
No, so it is on to the Dark Empire's turn 3, is it?
Tower turn 3. When we were shooting, we took down 3 of these choppers. We destroyed one of the jets. We destroyed that. They killed 3 of the mech boys, what they're called? Mech boys. Mega knobs, there we go. That's the highlight for me because I've never been able to do that. Took him down, then you charged in, took Gazgul down to 2. Then my vulnerable saves, he smashed straight through the vulnerable saves. Killed Archon. Killed Archon and killed 2 of the Incubi along with it, which was quite a sad moment. That's still alive. The other Dagger Jet's gone. This went because it moved forward. It had to move forward and be wrecked because of being so close to the people.
Moved 18 inches, found itself to be within an inch of my unit, so it had to move the minimum possible distance, which was less than 18, therefore it counted as automatically wrecked, as we read the rule.
Yep. We also blew up one of the other heavy trucks as well.
It magically transformed into a vulture ship thingy.
Then everything moved, and that is the end of Tower turn 3.
Okay, so it is the Orc turn 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
Turn 4. The Orcs retreated back.
Turn 3. Yeah, I think it was turn 3.
Turn 3, sorry. Orc turn 3. And the Orcs retreated back into here, into their own quarter to gain half a victory point. This squad fired into the Void Raven bomber, and that is no more. These guys. Wow, it's very blurry, but apologies for that. These guys fired into the Scourges, killed 1. And here's where it got interesting. The Death Dread charged into there. And here's where we had Saving Private Ryan moment where the Corporal, I think, fires his pistol at the Death Dread, or the tank, and manages to roll a 6 for Overwatch. Then 5 for penetration, then another 5 plus 1 because of its AP2 for the damage chart, and it exploded without even getting to attack. Oh well. And in this combat, the Incubi failed to wound Gazgul, and Gazgul just obliterated them all because he had enough of them and moved 5 inches towards this unit. And this is the final turn because we have, well, we've run out of time, so we're about to calculate victory points, and we will be back with who is the victor of this mission. And so, after a hard day's battle between the Dark Empire and the Orcs, when we looked at the board, I had this table quarter, so I have half a victory point. That was contested by my Deathcopters. This board edge was contested by them Scourges, and he had a victory and half a victory point because this unit was in this table quarter. His whole unit wasn't in either the table quarter or the circle, so that doesn't give him anything. So at the end of the day, it was a draw between me and between the Orcs and the Dark Empire. Good game. Good game. Okay, so afterthoughts on the game. Well, that was a lot of carnage. Where shall I start off? Yes, the mission. I think the mission was quite successful. There wasn't, at the very least, there was one rules query about the mission. But that was just simple wording, that was easily fixed like that. Both me and my opponent really enjoyed this mission. I fully enjoyed it because it was something new, something fresh, you know, something to freshen up the tactical aspect of 40k for me, whilst giving off a cinematic effect. Because to me, the whole missions felt a bit like the opening cutscene of the first Dawn of War game, where the Blood Raven is rushing towards the objective, or the flag in the middle, on the top of the hill, and the Orcs are shooting at them. But apart from that, I really enjoyed it. I honestly think oh, just the Death Dread bit made the game for me. It's just, okay, let's charge the Death Dread, and then blam with a pistol, and it was gone. That was just all Saving Private Ryan there. That was taken straight from Saving Private Ryan. I enjoyed that. But when looking back at it, the only tactical judgment I would do, if I was to do that game again, I would change. It would be placing the orc mobs closer towards the centre of the circle, because I was just thinking he's going to pour firepower, and a lot of firepower just drain it all on me boys if they get to that circle, and I can't really assault that much with them if they're in the circle. So I decided to try and flank, but that didn't work, as we saw in the mission. Sorry. So apart from that, I think I'll change that. There was a lot of things where there was good dice rolls and bad dice rolls and that. I think good dice rolls, which stopped us from quickly advancing to the centre of the objective with the Mega Knobs and Gazgul, was the, what do you call it, the Piranhas. Yes, it was just quick. I went straight up, tried to get there, got shot, got bogged down in assault by incubi. But in all honesty, I really enjoyed it, because there was a lot of things where I thought I wouldn't do this, but I managed to do, like Gazgul managing to instant death the Archon with the 2+ invulnerable save. As soon as he rolled that 1, I started just leaping for joy. But it was quite fun. I must admit, Gazgul was a tank, as always. I mean, people say he's overpriced for what he does, but in my opinion, just that game there shows that he's... I think he's right, just about right for the points. He is a massive bulking tank. Darker Jets did well. I liked them. Something to watch out for is the Necrotoxin missile bomber, Void Raven bomber. Yes, that's something to watch out on. The Mega Dread did surprisingly bottle, but I think due to the deployment, I couldn't have placed him anywhere else, and that's a bold statement to make, I know, but I honestly think that there wasn't anywhere else he could be, because it's either face Melter or face whatever it was, so he had to go. So it's better not to be having to roll 5+ invuns for Melter, when there's a possible chance he might not even get to pen. But apart from that, even though he died, he went down in a blaze of glory, so I'm happy enough with him. But definitely naming him Death Stomp. I just found the name and the name just clicked in, so Mega Dread's called Death Stomp. Apart from that, I really enjoyed the game. It was hilarious and fun at the same time, and I hope my opponent enjoyed his game, because I, quite frankly, really did. So cheers for the game, mate. But apart from that, this is the WAAAAGH signing out. If you liked anything from this video, or you want to see more battle reports, give it a like and a subscribe. A little bit goes miles, as they say. So thanks for watching. This is the WAAAAGH signing out, and remember, keep on forging.